A lot of people have been asking me how I make my cinematic shots in my videos, so I figured I'd make a little tutorial. The first thing you need to do is make sure you have the Fabric mod loader installed and the replay mod in your mod folder, and then you hit single player or multiplayer if you're going to record on a server. Make sure you hit record and load in your world. As you can see in the top left, the replay mod is currently recording the world. But if you go into first person and want to record your screen, it will still show up in your video. So to hide that, you want to exit out of the world, go to replay viewer, click on the settings button, and turn recording indicator off. Then click done and get back into your world. So as you can see, the recording is still started, but the indicator is not there anymore. So you can record in first person as well as get a replay mod recording of your world. And if you press escape, you can see that it is still recording. I can pause recording or stop recording at any time. And if you leave your world, then it will also automatically stop recording. Now it's time to build something. And there we go, a perfect build. So now, as you can see, I speeded up the footage of that build and it looked really weird in first person. But before we finish this recording, I want to get a few more different things that we can use the replay mod on. So I built a nice little staircase, and now to get a cool cinematic shot of this, I'll just jump up and go back down. So now that you're done, you can either hit stop recording or just hit save and quit. Once you save and quit, you can go to replay viewer, and the top file will be your most recent recording, which you can see that you can also rename. Click on the file, click load, and now you can see I can move around like I'm in spectator mode, and I'm watching back my recording in a third person point of view. Now as you can see, I paused the recording. To do this, you hit the slash button, and now I have access to my mouse again, and you can hit pause or unpause. This stuff up here may look a little confusing, but basically, this is the whole timeline of the recording. As you can see, it was recording for 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Down here will be the finished product. If you want to speed up the time of your video, you can adjust it over here. So if we speed it all the way up and press play, you'll see that I build really fast. So now that we can see the final build, we can figure out a good place to start the cinematic shot. Since I built from left to right, I want to start on the left side. Use your mouse to get the camera at just the perfect angle and press the slash button. Then make sure that this is at 0, the start of your video, and you want to rewind to before the build. Then add your first time keyframe, as well as your first position keyframe. Now it's time to watch you build. Make sure you pause it right where you want it to stop. Now, if you hit escape, you can go back into spectator mode and find your next angle. That little green dot shows where I started, and since it was down low, I want to go up high to get a good cinematic shot. Now that I have a good position, I'm going to hit slash and add my next position keyframe and time keyframe. And since we watched the video at 8 times the speed, it's not over a minute long. Instead, it's actually only 11 seconds. So if you click and drag this yellow line all the way back to 0, and hit play, we can watch back our time lapse. Sometimes it'll show the ground, so just press slash and it will show your normal camera angle. If I exported it right now, that's exactly what it would look like. But since it's a little bit slow, we can actually speed it up. If we move this yellow line out of the way and we click and drag these two little green things, if we drag them both out here, we can make it longer. But if we move them closer to the beginning, then it will speed up our time lapse. So now, as you can see, from start to finish, it will only take 4 seconds. So let's check on our video now. That was a lot faster and it looks a lot better. Now you may have noticed that over here it didn't load perfectly, but when it renders, it will load the world in fine. Now that you have your first recording done and ready to export, you want to hit render camera path. And you can double check all your video settings, but for the most part, it should be all set. In my time lapses, I don't like to have my name tag showing, so I'll turn this off. You also want to make sure you have your FFmpeg installed, so that way your video can render. Then you just click render, and if it shows this screen, that means everything is going according to plan. The bigger file sizes, the longer it'll take your video to render. And as you can see, my video is successfully rendered. If you wanted to, you can upload this straight to YouTube, but I always just get it from the video folder, so that way I can edit it into a bigger video. Now that my video is rendered, I'm going to hit close, and you can see that it brought me back into this world. Now I did do one more build, but I already have a camera path. So to clear it, just press C and click yes. Now we're ready to get our next shot. So the build was about right here. I'm going to hit slash and bring this back to 0 and click play. I'm going to pause it really quick, and now that I know where the build is, I'm going to come over here and keep watching. Now that I'm at the part that I want to record, I turn the speed back to 1, and you can always change the speed duration when you're editing your video. So now I want to get a cool shot of me parkouring up this build. Now that I have a good angle to watch me parkour, I'm going to start my camera path right here, and now let's watch me try to jump up here. I'm going to pause it again, and as you can see, that took 7 seconds. And if you want a still shot, simply don't move and press these 2 buttons. Now let's watch back and see how it turned out. Now that I have this recording ready, we can render it and throw it into my video editor to see how it turns out. As you can see, there's a lot you can do with the power of video editing. I hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.